Welcome back to She Will Empower. I'm Jessica Cherry, strategic intervention and empowerment coach, NLP practitioner, award-winning writer, community director, sound bath girly, and your Tuesday morning wake-up club host on 94.3 KWVH Wimberley Valley Radio. Today, I've got a wonderful guest on the KWVH studio, Miss Marina Wanders, owner of MW.co and a mastermind on branding and business and truly creating an impact. You're so great on for yourself and your brand and everybody else. Good morning, Marina.
Good morning. Good morning. So happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, I'm so excited to have you. So a little backstory on Marina. If you live in Wimberley or the Texas Hill Country area, you have seen her work. It is literally everywhere. She has partnered with several leading area businesses. She has been my personal speaker twice on Ladies Lifestyle Network Hayes County chapter, with the latest one being on the subject of visibility versus impact. She's even done my personal branding shoot, and now we are going to dive in together and talk about the art of business. So let's start, Marina. I want to get in on all the juicy details of the art of business. Let's start with the first one. How do you know it's time to bet on yourself?
Wow, what a great question. And what a great intro. Thank you for that. I'm like, oh, that is,
of course.
Thank you. How to know when to bet on yourself. I think we all have that inner voice that speaks to us, and when it gets super loud through your body, through somatics, maybe you're getting sick, maybe your back is starting to hurt, maybe you're having that chronic thing in your body or in your mind that's just screaming at you. You know, I think we've all had those points where it's like, oh my God, I can't move, or like my eye is twitching nonstop. It's like, okay, pause. Like your body is trying to tell you something. And, you know, I think people really know deep down on the inside when it's time to bet on yourself, when it's time to go all in and to just follow that voice that's telling you.
I love it. It's like a gut feeling.
Yeah.
I want to say, right? So your business reflects your own evolution, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
It's like a mirror. It kind of grows when you do it. It just looks right back at you. So every pivot, lesson, breakthrough you experience, it shows up in your business.
Yeah. And I want to be fully like transparent in this conversation of the work that I've done personally and how that's evolved my business. You know, when I was 24, I started this company and I was just doing photo shoots, charging by donation, like didn't know what I was doing. Also highly traumatized, like coming out of an abusive marriage, like didn't know what to do next, like just started this company so I could pay for my kids' clothes, like get us off the ground, like pay for my phone bill.
This started as a side hustle?
This started as like oh my God, I'm getting a divorce. I've never had a career. What do I do?
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that you betted on yourself.
So it's just like, you know, either I'm going to go into like the bartending space and like be the cute girl and do that, like what I was doing before motherhood, or, you know, I had just gotten a DSLR camera and I was taking photos like of my children and like for fun for other people. And I was like, or I could be a photographer, like maybe I could do that. So I started by donation, like totally just chaos, posting on the internet. I remember the first time someone paid me $300 by donation, and I like thought that was the world. Like I was like, I had
your moment.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be so rich. Like this is great. And fast forward, $300 does not make you rich, you know, as we know. I think this was before inflation doubled, so it'd be like $600 now. But through all of the work that I have done, like somatically in my body, in with facilitators and sound baths, as you know, like just doing the inner work and clearing out the trauma and healing my body physically, my gut health, my mental health. Now, you know, my numbers are much higher. I own a whole like media agency. I'm launching the Art of Business, which is a consulting coaching strategy for entrepreneurs, and it builds that gap between, I can't say that marketing has got me to where I am. Like that has been sort of a lie, sort of like a facade that I'm trying to rip away. You know, I had to say that because I own a marketing business. Like I had to be like, marketing is the way, but it's only 50%. Like you can market the whole time, and if you're not doing the inner work, like you're gonna get nowhere. You're gonna get to a spot. Well, maybe you get somewhere actually. Marketing will get you 50%, but there's another 50% that you can't get to if you don't do the inner work. You'll get stuck. You'll hit a limit.
I love that. And I can tell that you've done a lot of the work, that you've done it. I can tell. So I want to talk about taking accountability. I know a lot of it is taking accountability of both your own life and your business. And that's where the real growth begins, right? I know that with the work that you did, you had to take an inner look at yourself and truly do the work.
Yeah, of
How do you
course.
feel about that?
It's so easy for us to just water everything down and find everything okay. Like if it's okay, that's fine. Like I'm in this marriage, it feels okay. That's fine. I'm a stay-at-home mom. Like that feels okay. That's fine. Like I'm only happy 10% of the time. Like that's fine. Like it's okay.
Ah, I hate that. No. No.
You know? And so it takes like a really like honest and vulnerable conversation with yourself of like, wow, like I am only happy 10% of the time. Like, okay. Like, and once you have that conversation with yourself, like I remember the exact day where I was like, whoa, like I'm having panic attacks in my closet. I had a boyfriend at the time and we were talking about getting married. Everyone thought it was after my divorce. Everyone thought we were like so perfect. He was a videographer. I was a photographer, like blonde, blue haired, beautiful, beautiful man. And I was having panic attacks in our closet all the time and in my car. And I had to have this really vulnerable, honest conversation with myself of like, this is not it. And I spent the next like 2 months crying because we broke up and my whole life changed after that. And I started healing and I started growing. And
And
yeah,
look at you now.
I know. Look at me now.
And taking accountability and really looking at yourself, it's not punishment, it's power, right? You're not punishing yourself for taking a look at yourself. It's the moment when you realize you are the common denominator, and that's the best news ever. It's just really taking a good look at yourself and showing up also before you feel ready. I'm sure when you were crying and doing all those things that you weren't ready for the next level, but trust and self-trust leads the way, right?
Yeah, I feel like we're never ready, even in the leveling up now that I'm in after doing like 5 years of deep somatic work and having this business and seeing clients, double their income in 2 months, crazy results. I still feel like, oh my God, I'm not ready. Like I'm not ready for this. I'm not like, what is happening? Like, oh my gosh, this is too much. And you just kind of like, I always picture someone jumping off a cliff and just holding their nose. Like you're gonna be scared, but you're gonna do it anyway. And the more you sit at that ledge and you're like, oh my God, it's so scary down there. Eventually, like God is either going to push you off the cliff or you're going to jump like willingly.
Yeah, you cannot stay on the cliff forever, right? Something's going to happen.
Something's going to happen. Yeah, just jump up.
So, I want to talk about the power of self-trust because obviously you jumped off that cliff, right?
Yeah.
Did you hold your nose?
Yes. Okay. And I can't swim very well either. That's a whole different side story. But yeah, you have to just trust. And I don't even know if it's trusting in myself. Like I always say that, like even every time I bring on a new client, I'm like, I just brought on this German dress client. And I'm like, I don't know anything about German culture or, Shopify or any sort of thing. And it was sort of just like a deep trust of, okay, like we're gonna do this and let's see what happens. And they doubled their revenue in 2 months, and which is a very large number. I'm not gonna like put them on blast, but it's definitely like close to seven figures. And we doubled the revenue in 2 months, and it was so great. And it's kind of just like trusting in something that's bigger than yourself. Like you were put here for a reason in this exact moment, like this radio show, or that client, or maybe it's just like having a conversation with a friend at a coffee shop. Like every moment is divinely orchestrated, and if I just trusted in myself, like I would have gone nowhere. Like it's like trusting in something so much bigger than yourself.
I love that. So your business grows at the speed of your self-belief.
Yeah. You have to believe that you can do it based on the trust that something's so much bigger than you.
And when you bet on yourself, you stop waiting for permission and you start leading.
Yeah. If you wait, I think we all want to be experts in something until for us to start. Like we have to be an expert radio host.
Oh yeah, everybody has a chapter one. Everybody has a chapter one, a starting point. And it's bad when you're looking at somebody's chapter 10 to your chapter 1, right? That's when the self-criticism comes in, and it's a slippery slope if you go down that route.
Yeah, definitely. And that's kind of the magic of public relations is, you can fabricate your chapter 10 online, and you can connect those dots, and you can make it seem so much bigger than what it really is, or as big as it is, but that's the power of public relations. And because I'm so good at that, I feel like I've put myself in such a little box. And so I'm trying to come out of that and be like, oh, it's okay for me to be at chapter 1. It's okay to be at chapter 2. Like it's okay to be vulnerable in that as
Oh,
well.
totally. Totally. I feel like vulnerability is a strength. When you're able to put yourself out there and be vulnerable and live in that moment, it's so much better than not wanting to, right? Than to just be like, oh, I'm not going to take that step because I don't want to be vulnerable. I want to be in my comfort zone of safety, so I'm not going to try something new. It's to your own detriment.
Yeah, my son looked at me the other day and he's like, Mom, I think I have a message for you. And I was like, yes, son. And he's like, you're comfortable. You're too comfortable. Like, you're going to die in your comfort zone. And I was like,
oh my God, your son?
Yes.
Wow.
What did you just say to me? Like, it was so random too. Like, he was just like, yeah, comfort zones kill people, Mom. And I think you're really comfortable. And I was just like,
wow.
So seen. And so,
oh, that sounds like a 16-year-old. And I know he's not 16. Wow. Smart little kid.
Oh my God, they're little shamans. They're little medicine magic babies for sure.
And you won't ever feel 100% ready, right? I don't think anybody is going to feel 100% ready. Growth doesn't ask for permission. It just does, I think. And action builds confidence. It's not the other way around. Confidence doesn't build action. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's kind of like the season I'm in right now, from going from, a photographer, a media agency to, consulting, coaching, and especially including wellness and mental health, because it's like, is my mental health 100%? Like, do I have agency to help other people?
But you don't have to be the guru at the top of the hill. You can be the guide, guiding somebody along the way while you're also healing yourself.
Yeah,
right? You
exactly.
can be holding hands with somebody and sharing space in the moment together. You don't have to be the man at the top of the hill.
There is no man at the top of the hill. Like, that's Jesus Christ or Buddha or something.
Yeah, we're all in it together, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. So the moment that you decide you are your brand, because I know that Marina Wanders, right? You are your brand. Everything shifts.
Yeah.
Right? You are your vibe. And the brand is simply a reflection of you.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like your brand is a total reflection of you. And once you own that, then game over.
Yeah, and the season's new, but last season of my life, I launched MW.co, and that was the media agency. It's still up and running, very successful, but what I was really missing was my personal brand. I tried to kill Marina Wanders very recently.
I remember that. I remember that.
Brands wise, not actually my human self, but as a brand, I was really over being the brand and having that responsibility and putting myself in this box of what I needed to be. And especially as someone who does marketing and media and public relations, it's very easy to put yourself in this perfect box that you have to be to get clients. And right now I'm like ripping that off and coming back to young, wild, and free Marina and being like, no, this is who we really are. Like, this is like, I build my business through marketing and media, and I also build my business through somatic practices and healing myself and healing my gut and seeing an acupuncturist every single week who is amazing. Shout out to you, Dr. Cass. And so, and that's the great thing is when you hire Marina Wanders, you're hiring Dr. Cass, you're hiring these facilitators that I've had, a long history with and trust so deeply with my personal healing that when they see my clients, it's just like, you have now my power and their power. And it's so unstoppable. It's amazing.
So you're saying your business isn't really separate from you. It's an extension of you, of your energy, your values, your evolution. When you own that truth, it feels like you're just magnetic.
Yeah, you're so free. And it's kind of, I was watching this podcast yesterday with Paris Hilton, and Paris Hilton was doing personal branding before personal branding was even a thing. And
oh yeah.
Yeah, and now we're entering an age where, I think personal branding is the new like storefront. It's the new business.
Yeah, I remember when she came out with That's Hot.
Yeah.
And genius. It flew off. Do you remember that? That's hot.
Yeah.
Hot.
We love Paris.
But everywhere you you looked, everybody was saying that. I think she trademarked it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that saying, but I do know she was the first person to get paid to go to a club and like just be there. Like they just paid her to be there. And because they saw how powerful she was. And now we're in the age of, the internet and everyone having a social media and technically everyone has a personal brand. Whether you want to take accountability for that or not is totally separate. Like you can have a social media and do nothing with it and post your cats, and I love that for you. But that is your brand. That is your personal brand, whether you want to accept that or not. And once you realize that you have the power, then you can create anything you want to.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. Let's talk about the art of presence, because that ties in really well with that. So your visual identity speaks before you do, right? So your brand isn't just what people see, it's also what they feel. So talk to me about that. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I love that. And that's sort of what I do with my media agency clients is people right now are going to go to your social media, whether you're a coffee shop or a German dress company or a restaurant or anything, or, you do sound like baths with cats, like whatever you do, people are going to go to your social media and they're going to feel something. We don't have the attention span to read your captions or even look at all your pictures. Like you have an immediate presence, you have an immediate energy that's felt, and either people are going to vibe with it or not. And honestly, that presence that's felt is through you. Like you're carrying the energy of your business. And that's why it's so important to do the somatic and the healing work also, because the more that you heal, the more yummy that you feel in your own body, the more yummy you're
and then the more it comes out on pictures, right? And media. And you let your visuals carry your frequency before your voice even enters the room. And sometimes your voice can't even enter the room. I mean, the scrolling, I think the average is 3 seconds. You have that amount of time before people just keep on keeping on with the scroll. So it's immediate. So visuals is such a huge part of grabbing somebody.
Yeah. And I feel like, if I was more of a scientific brain, you could go into quantum physics. And really what we're talking about is quantum physics, is that everything has an energy. Matter cannot be created or destroyed. And so you're just putting your energy into your business. And you can take that in like a hippie metaphysics way, but like it's also like a very scientific fact. And so you're putting your energy into your business and people are going to feel it. And whether that's good or bad, and then that's like what we were talking about is taking accountability for that. And with that comes power. Like, okay, like cool. Like they can feel all my trauma from my childhood. Like, great. Love that. That can be very connecting, right? I think we connect over trauma really easily. But also it's really powerful. It's like, okay, let's heal that stuff. And yeah, then people will feel that as well.
I think that the color choices that people pick, the wording, the image should reflect your energy and your truth. I think that people don't think that color is important, but it is really important. There's a lot of subliminal language in coloring. I know like fast food is a lot of reds and yellows, but color choices are important. And I want you to ask yourself, whoever's listening, does your online presence feel like the real you?
Yeah.
Right. I know I have several companies out there and a lot of them, they do, but I think I'm outgrowing one, but well, that's another topic.
Maybe we'll bring you on a podcast that I have and we'll talk about that.
Oh, I would love to. So let's talk about, all of this feels like we're talking about alignment, right? So we're going to talk about leading from alignment and not necessarily force, right? Because I feel like it's a power versus force thing, or alignment versus force. What are your thoughts about leading with alignment?
Yeah, it's really about like ease versus force, I think. When you're aligned, things are just flowing. But when things are forced, you're going to try really hard and put in a lot of effort. I think we can all think of certain projects or relationships or anything that we have put in so much energy towards, so much effort, and it just has not shifted. And you're just like banging your head.
Yeah, spinning your wheels.
Yeah, you're mad. You're
like the hamster. I was like, I'm trying to get somewhere and you're going nowhere.
Yeah, and you're just building that resentment. And that's how you know you're out of alignment. And so just like asking yourself, like, what do I really want? Like, where do I really want to go, and moving from that space. And then once you know you're in alignment, things start flowing so easily because life is not supposed to be super hard. It already is hard. So if it's like extra, extra hard, then it's like, you don't need to go that way. You could just go a different way.
And sometimes it's really hard to stop because we are on the rat race of, especially women, like the kids, the job, the responsibilities, the house, everything is on us. And a lot of times we don't have the luxury of having to stop and think, am I in alignment with my business?
Yeah.
Right. And even if you don't have your own business and you're 9 to 5 and you're feeling the stress, that is a sign in itself to just stop. Maybe that 9 to 5 isn't for you, or maybe you want to do start a side hustle the way, we did back in the day, plant that seed. I think that taking a step and looking at your life and thinking to yourself, am I living with alignment? Yeah. Just across the board. If you're 9 to 5, if you're your own company, your own boss, I think alignment is really good. And when you're in alignment, you don't have to force outcomes, and the power that you already have works for you, right? Force doesn't command control, and alignment commands presence.
Yeah, and I think that's the magic of our bodies is, if you are going to force it, your body's going to stop you, whether you want to sit down and listen or not. Ooh, yeah. I always totally believe that sickness, people are like, oh my gosh, I have allergies. I'm like, you're allergic to the earth? No, girl. Like, you're not listening. There's something that you're missing here. Like, your body is literally forcing you to stop, and it wants to tell you something. And so, and then when you don't listen to the cold or the flu or whatever, it's like, okay, now, this year I went through kidney failure. Like, I'm not immune to this just because I have awareness of this. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in such alignment. My body's like, hard stop, like for months and months. And yeah, and then I found out exactly where I was out of alignment. My body's like, no more alcohol. And I wasn't even drinking often. It was like 2 or 3 drinks a month, maybe. And my body's like, no, like, we're not doing that. Like, just because other people are drinking does not mean we want you to drink. And it's like, okay. And then as soon as I like healed my kidney thing, I was like, okay, just one. Like, and it's hard when you're like networking, and I work at a lot of restaurants and businesses, and like I'm in that culture, and there's like flaming drinks with like black sugar and squid ink. And I'm like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, I want that. I want that, And then my kidneys shut down again, and it was like, no. And so our body is so powerful and so magical. And if we just listen, even if we don't just listen, like, that's how chronic illness happens, is when we're not listening at all.
And I think your body has its own intuition, right? And it creates clarity and flow and decision making if you just listen to it.
Yeah. And that's why
which is hard.
Important. Yeah.
It's hard because our mind wants something and we want our own path, and then your body's like, skirt, stop.
Trust me. Oh, girl, I'm like the queen of that. I only have all of this awareness through trial and error, lots of error.
I think when your strategy aligns with who you truly are, success stops feeling like a chase. And alignment, right? We're talking about alignment here. I think that when you're aligned, you start feeling that you're off the hamster wheel of running, right? Running in the same place. So it brings me to the next thing I want to talk to you about, which is the courage to rebrand. I know it's going to be juicy.
I'm like the queen of branding, but I'm also the queen of rebranding and owning it, and it's okay.
And I want to say something. So Marina did my personal branding a couple months ago, and when she came out to my house, and I knew what I wanted for my businesses, but there was one business that I have called Life of a Cherry Wife, and she was in shock because, of course, my last name is Cherry, and she was like, I want to have cherries, and you're going to go to the grocery store and you're going to get cherries. And she made me go to the grocery store and get cherries. And I was like, all right, I'm trusting her. I've never had, and you were shocked that I've never had a branding with cherries. And that branding with cherries, I didn't know why I needed it, but then this radio opportunity with KWVH came on, and I used that. And I got so much positive feedback on that branding with cherries. So I just wanted to talk to you about that because I've never done anything like that. And to me, it wasn't it was in between a rebrand and a brand because I know Life of a Cherry Wife. Yeah, okay, cherries, Jessica Cherry. I know that I had the cherries, but I've never done that. So I want to applaud you on that for taking the initiative on that. And as far as the courage to rebrand, how do you know when your business is no longer matches what you're becoming?
Yeah, I think when, it's a time for a rebrand is there's no longer that excitement. You're no longer like jumping out of bed and like super excited to start your day. You're no longer planning your weeks ahead. Like it feels like a 9 to 5. You're like, okay, I have to do this. I have to go here. I have to do this. And maybe you're still finding joy in it when you're actually doing it, but it's finding that, inspiration and excitement. And, this year I think I've rebranded maybe 4 or 5 times, like very publicly, of like, okay, I'm offering this. Okay, I'm offering that. Like, I'm no longer doing this. Like, Marina Wanders is dead. Like, never mind. Like, Marina Wanders is actually not dead. Like, Marina Wanders is actually the full-time brand now. And so, I think it's also having the humility because, it's a public thing to rebrand. It's, saying out loud, like, okay, maybe I was going the wrong way. Like, maybe I wasn't in alignment, and I think to say that in a public eye could be very vulnerable.
Oh, totally. Totally. I totally agree with you. But I think that growing demands honesty, right? Every time that you've rebranded, you're growing.
Yeah.
And sometimes the brand that you built was perfect for who you were then, but it's not who you're becoming and or even who you are at the present now.
Yeah.
Right? It's like stages of a flower. It's like you're not the seedling, right? I mean, you're growing new leaves, you're sprouting new petals, you're doing all the things, and something that you named then isn't where you are now. And the real courage is allowing the evolution.
And that's why I'm so passionate about business and have created the art of business, because I've noticed that in these days, like business is so much more than just, making money. And I really believe that we create these brands and then they hold us. They're like they're our little home. We make this little home and then we grow and we play and we evolve, and then we're like, okay, like I need a bigger closet. And so, I think the brand holds the growth. And then when you outgrow the house, outgrow the brand, you buy a new house, you launch a new brand, you rebrand, you start a new business, and then the same thing, you live in there. It holds you so well. Now it has a swimming pool, a giant closet, maybe it has nightstands and you didn't have nightstands before. And it's just so beautiful. And then again, you'll probably outgrow that. And the art of it is creating a brand that's going to hold you longer than 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. It's thinking long term. It's thinking big picture. Like, what do I want to do in 10 years? So that way you don't have to rebrand 4 times in 1 year. And, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of start and stop. Like, it's like, energy in motion. It's a lot of stopping the energy and starting again, which is humbling.
Oh, I know. So your brand should grow with you, not cage you.
Yeah, your brand actually should be able to hold you in the growth. You're the one growing. I don't even think that our brand grows. I think that we create a brand and then we grow inside of that brand. And then when we outgrow that brand, it's time for a new one.
It's like those hermit crabs.
Yeah.
Right? So when it starts feeling tight, it's not failure.
No.
It's a sign that you've outgrown the old identity.
Yeah, and your brand should evolve every single time. It should be, bigger, better, more beautiful, shinier, more exciting.
So I think above everything, you should just listen to your body and your intuition, doing transformations, and that would be the courage to rebrand.
Yeah, I think I'm so passionate. It was really hard for me to accept the word coach. I always said over and over and over again over the last 6 years, I never want to be a coach. I never want to be a coach. Don't ever call me a coach. Like, I'm not it. Like, nose goes, not it. And it's very humbling. I always do these things where I'm like, I would never do that. And then, I do that. It's so funny. It's humbling. And so, yeah, I just think that, yeah, it's just very humbling.
I think as long as you rebrand with integrity, you keep connection to yourself and trust in yourself at the very center of it, I think rebranding is allowed.
Yeah, and it's fun. And that's, I think, where I was going before is it's just so exciting. It's like, okay, maybe my last brand was photography and then it was a media agency. Well, this new brand, The Art of Business, it's so much more. It's travel, it's excitement. Next week I'm traveling for a week. I'm going on tour with a band and just so much fun and excitement and shiny. And like Paris Hilton, like her brand, she's like, I want glitter and sparkles. And it's like, maybe you don't want glitter or sparkles and maybe you don't want travel. And it's like, what do you want? And then you can make it happen. It's like magic.
Yeah, like we literally have the power
Yeah.
to make art of our lives and our business.
It's instead of painting a portrait, I've tried to get into painting recently, like actual painting of like a canvas, and I don't have the attention and it doesn't provide enough excitement for me. But you can do that with your life, and you need money. I found that out. It's 3D. We're on Earth, come back to Earth. You need money, you need stability, you need structure, and that's what business provides.
So I want to ask you, what is one sign that it's time for a rebrand, and one thing people often look when they're doing it?
What do you mean? Where do they look?
Like something that they overlook. They're like, oh, it's time for me to rebrand, but then it's common for them to forget this part.
Yeah.
I think being true to themselves, right? I think chasing trends.
Yeah. If you chase trends, you're never ahead of them.
Always
one step behind.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Right? That's so good. If you chase trends, you're never ahead of them.
Yeah.
I love that. What's one piece of business advice you think that people should stop listening to?
I love this question. My one piece of business advice that I would stop listening to is all of them. Like, yeah, genuinely. There's so much information. We are in the era of over information. We're in the era of you could watch 75 YouTube videos and every single YouTube video is going to tell you something different. And if you're trying to chase all of that knowledge, you're going to get nowhere. You're going to go in circles. You're going to feel lost. You're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel like under-inspired. It's going to be too much information. And I am willing to bet that most people already have all the information that they already need. It's just listening to themselves. Like, what if we turned off YouTube? What if we closed the book, shut off the podcast, and just listened to what you had to say?
I think that a lot of people sit in procrastination.
Yeah.
Right? And then they mask procrastination with excuses. And I think that's their form of the hamster wheel.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I need to learn more. I need to do more. It's like when I started photography, I didn't know the settings of my camera. I didn't know what buttons to press. I didn't know how to use Lightroom or Photoshop. And to be honest, I'm still not the best Photoshopper in the world. And I could have let that stop me. But instead, I just started taking photos with the camera and who cares if my settings were wrong? And
just do it.
Yeah, just do it. Just do it. You have everything you already need. You are in full control. Albert Einstein was not Googling things, listening to podcasts to figure out E=mc². He was just listening to himself and scribbling over and over and over again. There was no external education or external validation. That was all from within his mind.
So I think we should tell everybody, don't be scared.
Yeah.
First off, don't be. And if you are scared, because scared is something, it's okay. It's okay,
yeah.
Right?
We're scared.
Do it anyway.
Exactly.
Do it anyway.
Yes.
Marina, it's been such a treat having you on She Will Empower. Thank you so much for bringing your expertise, your story, and a whole lot of inspiration into the studio today. And to our listeners, well, hold on. Where can people find you?
Yes, so that's a great question. So you can find me at Marina Wanders. Find me on Facebook, find me on Instagram, find me on the internet. You could just Google Marina Wanders and there I will be.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, this is what it's all about. Betting on yourself, intuition, courage, and the art of business. You've been listening to She Will Empower on 94.3 KWVH Wimberley Valley Radio and wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. I'm Jessica Cherry reminding you, never, ever dim your light. I'll see you next time with more stories, strategies, and voices that'll help you rise higher and step fully into your next level.